In today's video, hmm, in today's video, we are going to cover the chapter summary of 8th chapter. So let's start. Chapter 8 is getting started. Chapter summary. It is easy to find great deals. It's just like riding a bike. After a little wobbling, it's a piece of cake. But when it comes to money, it takes determination to get through the wobbling. You must awaken the financial genius sleeping within order to find these great deals. Our culture has told us that the love of money is the root of all evil, that we just need to find a profession, and work hard, and the government will take care of us when we are old. The message is still to work hard, earn money, and spend it. And when we run short, we can always borrow more. And that is why, for so many of us, our financial genius within is asleep. But we must awaken that financial genius in order to find $1 million deals of a lifetime. It's far easier to simply find a job and work for money, but that is not the path of wealth. If you want to go against the masses, Robert offers the thought process he goes through every day. 10 steps that you can use to awaken your financial genius. Follow the ones you want or make up your own. Your financial genius is up to the task. Find a reason greater than reality, the power of spirit. Many want to be rich or financially free, but they turn away because the road seems too difficult to get there. Like a future Olympic swimmer who sacrifices time and social engagements in order to put in hours at the pool and studying hard. People need a strong, clear goal or reason in order to push through the obstacles. A reason or purpose is a combination of wants and don'ts want. Just like Robert's reason for wanting to be rich. First, he don't wants as those create the wants. He didn't want to work his whole life. He didn't want job security and a house in the suburbs unlike his parents. He don't like he didn't like being an employee and didn't want to stay busy working on his career to the detriment of time with loved ones, only to have the government take most of what he worked when he dies, as happened with his father. What does he want? Robert wants to be free to travel the world while young and live the lifestyles he loves. He wants to be free and have control over his time. He wants his money to work for him. Like Robert, you must have strong enough emotional reason behind wanting to be rich to sustain you through setbacks. Robert has lost money many times, but he kept going because his reason was strong enough. He wanted to be free by 40, but it took until he was 47. Becoming rich wasn't easy, but it wasn't that hard either. But if Robert hadn't had a strong reason behind it, it wouldn't be been incredibly difficult. If you don't have a strong reason, enough reason, Robert asks you to not read further as it will sound like too much. Second, make daily choices, the power of choice. You have the choice every day whether to be rich, poor, or middle class. Your spending habits reflect who you are. The poor have poor spending habits. Long ago, Robert chose to be rich. His friend Mike, after inheriting a healthy asset column, chose to learn how to keep it, which is not the default situation when rich families pass on their assets to the next generation. Most people choose not to be rich. They tell themselves they are not interested in money, or that they are young and don't need to worry about it, or myriad other excuses. But those excuses rob them of time, their most precious asset, and learning. We all have the choice every single day what we do with our time and money and what we put in our head. Robert chooses to be rich and makes that choice every day. He asks people to invest first in education as our minds is our most powerful tool. Once we are old enough, we all have the choice of what to put in our brains. But instead of choosing to invest in learning, most people simply buy investments. To include his own learning, Robert goes to at least two seminars each year. In 1973, he went to a 3 day seminar on buying real estate with nothing down. He spent $385 on the seminar and it made him at least $2 million and enabled him not to have to work for the rest of his life. Robert also likes CDs and audiobooks so he can review what he just heard. One time, he was listening to an investor he disagreed with, but after listening to the talk 20 times, he finally understood what the man said, what he said. Why the man said what he said. He was able to grasp that because he kept his mind open even though he originally disagreed with the investor and how. And now he has the two ways of analyzing problems, which is priceless. Robert has chosen to read or listen to what a number of people think, from Donald Trump to George Soros, and that gives him access to their mental power. When you learn something new, you often must make mistakes to fully understand it. Arrogant or critical people are afraid to take risk, so they often won't listen to experts. It is not a question of intelligence. Intelligent people can be ignorant if they combine their smarts with arrogance. A truly intelligent person, on the other hand, welcomes new ideas. New ideas can combine with already accumulated ones and result in something great. Listen, learn, take a long view of wealth, not a get rich quick mentality. Invest in your greatest assets, your mind, before investing in stocks or real estate. Choose friends carefully, the power of association. Robert learns from all of his friends, both those who have money seeking their knowledge and those who struggle financially. The latter group teaches him what not to do. He says several of his friends who have generated more than $1 billion all report the same phenomena. Their friends who have no money never ask them how they did it. They just ask for a job or a loan or both. Robert wants us not to listen to poor or frightened people. To them, when it comes to investment, the sky is always falling. They can always tell you why something won't work. Any panel of experts will have one who says the market is going to crash and another who says it is going to boom. Listen to both because both have valid points. Be true to yourself and don't go along with the crowd. This can be one of the hardest part of wealth building. The crowd usually shows up too late to a great deal. Instead, look for a new deal, a prospect that can be frightened. Don't try to time the market. Get in position for next wave. Wise investors buy an investment when it's not popular. They know their profits are made when they buy, not when they sell. It's all about insider trading. The legal form of it being close to the insider, having rich friends who have information on where the money is being made. You want to hear about the next boom. Get in, then get out before the next burst. Um, that's what friends are for, and that's what financial intelligence is. Master a formula and then learn a new one. The power of learning quickly. Be careful what you learn because you become what you put in your head. The masses have one basic formula: go to work, earn money, pay bill, balance checkbook, buy some mutual fund, and go back to work. If you are not making enough, you need to change the formula. Years ago, Robert took a weekend class called How to Buy Real Estate Foreclosures. Closures. He learned a formula and put it into action, making several $1 million in the process. So he went in search of new formula. He didn't always directly use the new information, but he was always learning. Many colleges have classes on financial planning and buying traditional investments. It's a good place to start, but Robert is always searching for a faster formula. He says that's why he can make more in a day that many will make in their lifetime. And it's not just about a faster formula, but learning new formulas faster. Fifth, pay yourself first. The power of self-discipline. One of all the steps, self-discipline may be the most difficult to master if it's not part of your makeup. But personal self-discipline is the number one delineating factor between the rich, the poor, and the middle class. The world pushes you around and puts pressure on you, and if you don't have the tolerance for financial pressure, you will never become rich. Robert teaches students in his entrepreneurship classes that the three most important management skills to starting a business are management of cash flow, people, and personal time. These apply to everyone, not just entrepreneurs, and each of these skills is enhanced by the mastery of self discipline. Though many repeat this statement, pay yourself first, few have the discipline to put into practice. Compare these two diagrams. People who pay themselves first versus the people who pay everyone else first. Themselves first: job, income, asset, expenses, income. Job, income, expenses. Khatam. Follow the flow of money and see how these individuals pay themselves first by investing in the asset column before paying bills. This doesn't mean you don't pay your bills responsibly. It just means to pay yourself first. You can see how paying someone else first leaves little or nothing left to invest in the asset column. It has happened to Robert and to others that there were times when the cash flow wasn't enough to cover paying themselves first in the bills. They paid themselves first anyway. It takes internal fortitude when bills collectors are screaming, but it makes investing in assets a priority and leads to becoming rich. To successfully pay yourself first, don't get into large debt position that you have to pay for. Keep your expenses low, build up assets first, then buy the big house or the nice car. When it comes up short, let the pressure build, and don't dig into your saving or investment. Use the pressure to inspire your financial genius to come up with new ways of making more money, and then pay your bills. You will have increased your ability to make more money as well as your financial intelligence. Remember that this rule does not encourage self sacrifice or financial abstinence. It doesn't mean pay yourself first and starve. Life was meant to be enjoyed. If you call on your financial genius, you can have all the goodies of life. Get rich and pay bills. Pay your brokers with the power of good advice. Many people try to save a few dollars by using discount brokers or selling their house on their own. But not only do good professions save your time, then they make you money. Information is priceless. A good broker should provide you with information as well as making you money. Learn from them in true. What you pay them is tiny in comparison with what kind of money you can make with the information they give you. Not all brokers are created equally. Interview them and find out how much property or investment they own. Find one who has your best interest at heart and treat him or her fairly. Companies have a Companies have a board of directors because they know the value in having people smarter than they are around. You should have a board of directors to be an Indian giver. The opportunity of getting something from nothing. The term Indian giver arose out of a cultural misunderstanding when the first European settler come to the New World. If a settler was called an Indian, would give the person a blanket. The settler mistook it for a gift and was offended when the Indian asked for it back. The Indian got upset when the settler did not want to give it back. It was a misunderstanding of what the transaction was. In terms of investing an asset column, it's key to be an Indian giver, that is, getting your initial investment back and quickly. Getting your initial investment back and quickly. One example is a condo Robert bought with cash for $50,000. It rented in the high season for $2,500 and $1,000 for rest of the year. Within about 3 years, it paid for itself. In essence, Robert's original 50,000 was back in his pocket, and the asset continues to make him money month in and month out. Some don't like risk, prefer to keep their money in saving account, but there is not making anything, and they also get don't get anything for free with it. For each of his investment, Robert says there must be an upside, something for free, like a mini storage, piece of free land, stock shares, a house, and there must be limited risk. 8. Use assets to buy luxuries. The power of focus. Robert loves luxuries as much as the next person, but he won't borrow money for them. Instead, focusing on the asset column to create the money to buy those luxuries. He shares the example of a friend whose teenage son wanted a car. Robert, rather than buy it himself or have the son use his saving for it, the father gave him $3,000 and some information on the stock market and told him he couldn't use that $3,000 directly to buy a car. He had to invest it, and when he had made $6,000, he could use that for a car, and the original 3,000 would go into his college fund. Although the son had yet to realize that profit is in interest and learning grew skew high. It was learning a lesson that would serve him well in life. Growing assets in order to pay for the things he wanted. Developing cash flow from an asset column is easy in theory. What's hard is the mental fortitude to direct money to the correct use. Borrowing money is easy in the short term but harder in the long run. Choose heroes, the power of myth. One of the most powerful ways we learn as children is pretending to be our heroes. Robert continues that as an adult, though his heroes have changed, instead of pretending to be Willie Mays at bat, he channels the bravado of Trump while negotiating a deal or the analytical skill of Warren Buffett when looking at trends. By having heroes, we tap into their genius, and because they make it look easy, they inspire us to try. 10th, teach and you shall receive the power of giving. Robert learned from Rich Dad to give money as well as education. He would say, if you want something, you first need to give. When he was short of money, he gave to his church or to his favorite charity. Whenever you feel in need of something, whether that's money, smile, love, or friendship, give it first and it will come back in buckets. This is also true in teaching. The more you teach, the more you learn. Both of Robert's dads proved that. Be generous with what you have and make sure you are giving for the joy that giving itself brings, not giving simply to receive. We have completed the chapter 8th summary. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.